we are back with the round 3 of the Sinkfield Cup and the Cairns Cup. Let's directly dive into the game of Praggnanandhaa. He played a wonderful game yesterday against Sindaro to win the game in 95 moves. And today he's playing black against Vincent Keimer. If I believe he's world number 4 right now. Yes, he's rated 2767 and the classicals. Right now, he lost to Aronian yesterday, but drew against Wesley Slow. It doesn't matter. He's a very strong player and should be taken seriously. So, Keimer played c4, an English opening, attacking on the square at d5 and keeping a little bit of flexibility to maybe later convert into d4 openings. And Pragg played e6. He is also not trying to advance his pawns. He does not want to advance his pawns at the start, and maybe this can convert into QGD kind of openings. Right now it's Agincourt defense. G3, D5, Bishop to G2, Knight F6, Knight F3, Bishop E2. Yeah, it's actually Catalan-like structure with Bishop on G2, and both the players are prepared right now. Castles, Keimer played castles, Pragg played castles. It's all well-known theory so far. Knight BD7. Okay, this is a bit of a, I won't say new move, but yeah, not the main line I would say, because it's like the fifth most played move. So knight goes to BD7. Queen develops like 10 minutes. See, Keimer took 10 minutes to play this move. It means he was not fully prepared to face this move, hence, and looks like it's not a very good move. Even if you look at the engine, it's the second best move. Queen to d3, a5, and it's one of the best moves. Expanding on the queen side, trying to open the a file, and white goes knight to c3, developing his knight, putting more pressure on d5, and c6, solidifying the center. So this is the current position, and it's more or less equal. White has a fan chat of bishop looking towards the center, d4 and c4 pawn. Queen is also out, but black has also solidified his center with pawn e6 and c6. A semi-Slav-like structure, and definitely a Catalan. So in such positions, black's headache is to develop the bishop on the c8, and white will try to play on this and create some troubles for black. Alright, now Keimer is thinking, let's see how Indian women are doing in the Cairns Cup till then. And today, who should we start with? Let's see, how did the round 2 results went. Okay, 2 Indians lost yesterday. Let's start with Vaishali's game. Like, she's the challenger, World Cup challenger. Okay, Vaishali is playing white. Let's see how the game went. 11 moves have been played. E d4, knight f6, c4. It's looking like a Nimzo Indian. Knight f3. Yes, it is a Nimzo. Sorry, it's now a Bogo Indian defense, since white has played an f3 rather than playing knight to c3. So it's called the Bogo Indian defense. These are the common ideas of Bogo Indian: pushing c5. I'm so sorry, pushing c5 and hitting on the center from side while keeping d5 pawn. White takes the bishop. Pawn takes. g3, b6. Okay, so both the players fan chatter their bishops. Castles, all solid theory. Even though I don't know because I'm a noob, but this is all solid theory so far. Queen to d3, d6, and right now it's all theory. No one has thought for even a minute, even seconds. It's been 9 moves. Knight to bd2. White develops her last piece. Queen to c7. Capturing this, trying to get hold of this semi-open file. Rook fd1 and rook e8. And this was the first long think of the game. I think Stavrula didn't know what to do here because, yeah, like here e4 has been played, a4 has been, a3 has been played, but rook fd1, it's not so popular. Vaishali played this, and Stavrula took 30 minutes to find the best engine move, because as you see, rook e8 is the best engine move here. Trying to maybe looking for e5 bricks here. I mean, this is the only thing that explains that move. And white has ideas of, okay, knight e1 is a nice idea. Like right now it's quite about equal. Like the initial advantage white always gets, white has nothing special. But this position looks interesting. There's a b4 pawn. There's a kind of an imbalance created with the pawn structure, a double pawn here. But and knight e1. Why knight e1? So white wants to trade this bishop and maybe, let's say, h6, a normal move. Okay, even that move is not so bad. This looks like a slow position here. There will be a lot of maneuvers in this game. Nothing explosive is gonna happen. So we'll come back to this. Let's check other games. Let's check Humpy's game. She's playing Carissa, who's another strong player from the United States of America. Humpy is white and she goes d4, queen's pawn opening, knight to f6, controlling the center from the side with the knight. My arrows have problems, they never go right. c4, putting more pressure on the center. e6, knight to f3, and here again we have Bogo Indian. We saw in Vaishali's game, and we are seeing here as well. Knight bd2. I think there are different moves played. The bishop d2, like in Vaishali's game we saw bishop d2, but here Humpy has decided to go knight bd2, black castles, e3, trying to make way for bishop, supporting the pawn on d4, a5. Okay, outright expansion on the queen side, and queen c2 first, then maybe white will play bishop d3, d5, attacking in the center. Of course, this move was to be played sooner or later. a3, kicking away the bishop, b3, solidifying c4, maybe white will play bishop from b2, knight bd7, bishop d3, all simple developing moves, but I think the players have already thought, like it's only 7-8 moves. they are already out of preparation, it seems, because time has lapsed. Carissa has thought for 10 minutes. Humpy has thought for around 5 minutes. Okay, A5. Looks like A5 was kind of a surprise for Humpy. And yeah. It has been played very less. Oh, it's move number 5. On the 5th move. So was E3 also a surprising move? Okay, E3 is also not very popular. It's the third most played move. The main moves are A3 and G3. Hence, this is the case. Carissa thought for 10 minutes and went for A5, which is not a very bad move, maybe. Okay, but D5 and basics would have been stronger. A5, bishop, queen, C2. Queen C2, D5, A3, and bishop E7, B3. Yeah, we all saw this. And H6. This was the last move Carissa played, which took 8 minutes, and not the best move, but not a bad. The engine says white must castle, and even I think white should castle, or maybe bishop B2. They are two nice developing moves for white. And so this is the opening of this game, and this is equal. Let's check the last player. We have not seen Divya's game yet, and again here also players are out of preparation because it's only 9 moves and they are taking time to think. And it's E4. Divya is black here. Koshchenuk, you can see she's 2500 plus. Sicilian. Okay, black goes for Sicilian here. Knight C and anti-Sicilian has been played. So basically white, the main line is for Sicilian goes knight f3, d4, knight f3, d4, attacking in the center. But here Koshchenuk goes knight c3, and we'll see. And I think it's just to surprise Divya here a bit, or maybe not. I mean, I'm a noob. This is played at the top level. This is not a very surprising move. Knight c6. This is the most top played move. See, at my level, I have rarely faced knight c3. Even if close Sicilian I have faced, it's generally this c3, the Alpine variation. But knight c3, bishop b5. Okay, it's not very popular, but so on the second move itself, Divya took 7 minutes. This is interesting. Looks like Koshchenuk definitely succeeded to surprise her, because a player of Divya's level does not think for 7 minutes at move number 7. You can see here is the clock of both the players. So yes, she definitely managed to surprise her. She must have been recollecting her lines, so she took this much time. After that, bishop b5, knight d4 instantly played. I mean, it's theory. Bishop c4, and again g6 instantly played. Yeah, she was just recollecting her lines, and now she's making moves. She's blitzing out her moves here. Knight f3, bishop to g7. All theory. Knight takes d4, and now white has 2 options, and black has 2 options to take with the bishop or the pawn. Divya decides to go with the pawn. Queen to f3, again like the best move, the top move. And here, okay, this is again something. Knight h6, although she blitz out. Okay, knight h6 is fairly popular, fairly common. Knight e2 again, top move. Castles. Yeah, so we are into Okay, so here Koshanuk played something different. H3, which has been played only 200 times, and Engine doesn't like this move at all. Now, Engine is giving minus zero point 0.4. It means this is advantageous for Black. Engine is showing Black has equalized according to the Engine, but maybe practically, for practical purposes, it should be good for White. That's why Alexandra has played this. And E6, Divya plays the best, and yeah, another surprise factor for her. 12 minutes was taken to play this move. E6. Now, this the evaluation bar shows it's a very good position for Divya, because okay, I understand why. Like, I think this central pawn is giving White and giving Black an edge maybe, and White is a little behind in development. Like, the king has not castled. Bishop is yet to come into the play. Even though Black's bishop is sitting here, but yeah, Black's king is safe. And knight at 6. I don't know what's the future of this knight. Where will this knight go? Let's say d3. Okay, so we are going to go immediate f5. Break the center, and let's say if White takes, take with the knight, opening the rook and also bringing the knight towards the center. I'm sure White won't take this. Knight takes d4. Okay, now yes, now if Black takes this, White will take this. I don't think that's a very good move. Okay, opening the rook. Okay, this is like the Latvian gambit we play. The rooks are open. Anyway, it's much different. Queen to e3, it says. What if we take this pawn? Oh man, I am like asleep. Queen is threatened, and I am saying we should take the pawn into pawn. Queen has to move. White's queen has to move. And we can't take this because d5 is coming maybe. Okay, this is not a good move. Queen e5, check. Bishop d2. Queen to b6. Bishop takes, bishop takes. No, I'm just trying to understand why to not take that pawn. Queen h4. The engine is saying it's minus 1.4, which is equal to 1.5 pawns, but I still don't understand what's making this position that good for Black. So e6, and Kostyuk is still thinking. Like, she's thinking, okay, she has taken like 16 minutes, is it? Has she messed up something? Kostyuk. Like, it's been 16 minutes. Wow. Quite a lot of time for move number 10. This game is going to be interesting, I think. The queen is out. The king has not castled yet. This is going to be a tactical game. At least I feel so. The other games we saw are going to see a lot of maneuvers and positional planning and things like that. So this game suits me to stay here. But still, we will go to Pragg's game. He's playing, Vincent Keimer, so we better take a look at that game. Pragg is black, so we saw this. Yeah, we saw a5, we saw knight c3, we saw c6. Okay, after we saw it here, and Keimer went b3. I think he just wants to solidify this pawn chain, but yeah, a4 is coming exactly according to the engine, and even I think so. But okay, Pragg played b6. He didn't go for such moves. And it's not a bad move actually. And White has only moved to keep the position equal. Strike in the center, and Keimer went for it. And he immediately went for it. There's still some kind of preparation, I don't know. And now a4 Pragg played, which is apparently a bad move. Now White has a +1 advantage if he plays e5. e5 is the only move to have a good advantage. Other move, like let's see, knight takes a4. Okay, it's a very bad move, and of course it's a bad move. You're simply giving away the pawn here, like this. Then also it's not a good move. Bishop a6 and e5. Keimer finds the best move here, and apparently now White is +1, which is almost equal. Almost, why almost? It's equal to White being a pawn up, and why it's +1. Let's try to understand together. I think it's most probably because White's pawn are advanced, and White has much more space. So, like, the best move engine is suggesting the two moves. If first, let's say if Black goes knight to e4, knight takes, queen takes. Pawn has been taken. Okay, ab3, of course, the Black will get his pawn back. And knight e8. Pragg has opted for knight e8. Okay, White is getting a free pawn. Is that so? Did Pragg miss something? Yeah, just simply if we take the pawn on a4. What's Black doing? How is Black recovering the pawn? I don't see a way for Black to recover his pawn. You can see, guys, White has all 8 pawns, while Black has only 7. It's quite interesting. Did Pragg miss something? But Keimer hasn't played that move yet. Okay, let's see what the engine is saying. Let's say bishop a6, putting more pressure on c4. Queen to c2. D takes c. B takes c. Yeah, I mean, White is simply a pawn. There is nothing. And see, no compensation whatsoever. Pragg has definitely missed something. Okay, this game is going to be tough for Pragg. How? It will be interesting to see how he saves this. So the move in question is, guys, a4. Here, Black could have simply taken here, and yeah, it was okay. Still, it's plus 0.5. I mean, that much White always has that much advantage. That's why even if you draw with Black, it's considered a good result, because White plays the first move. So at elite level, that first move advantage is enough. It's a very good one. Like at our levels, of course, that doesn't matter a lot, but at top level it does. Anyway, a4, e5. What was Pragg thinking? Maybe he thought White would go. Okay, let's see what Black has in the plan. Bishop a6 has been played. No. And White also hasn't taken the pawn on a4 yet. He's thinking. Of course, he must think. And maybe, guys, sometimes engine shows like +1, 1.5 many times. But practically it's very difficult to play those positions. So maybe Pragg is thinking something that we are not able to understand. So let's see what happens. Let's get back to the Cans Cup. How how's Vaishali doing? We haven't seen. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let's where yeah. She's playing Carissa. Yep. Okay, she played 91. This is the position we left. After that, after 13-minute thing, she played the best engine move, which is knight e1, and Back also played the best engine move after thinking for 9 minutes. King. Okay, both are equally good, taking with the king, taking with the knight, but why this bishop had to be traded? Can we try to understand? Even b3 is a move. Why Vaishali and the engine wants to trade the bishop? Being a noob is so tough, guys. Okay, knight e1, bishop takes g2, king takes g2, and black is thinking here. So not much has changed here. Let's go to Humpy's game. Okay, Humpy is playing Carissa. I'm so sorry, guys. Vaishali is playing Stavrula. And we saw it till here. Yeah. We saw it till here. Actually, here. Till here. Knight b d7 and bishop d3 has been played. x6. Castles. c5. Yes. Striking at the center, and Carissa plays the move, and Humpy decides to trade. C takes d5, and Carissa is thinking now. I mean, what is she thinking? What are her options? Either you take with the pawn or with the knight. I mean, I would have taken with the knight because for me, like this pawn is getting isolated, which I don't like, even though the computer likes this. And I think the computer likes this because after knight to c5, this light squared bishop will fall. So that's why, but I think I would not want to isolate my pawn unnecessarily. And here with knight takes d5, the rook is coming towards the center. C takes d, knight takes d4, and the knight will come into the play. Okay, nice position. This game is gonna go long. Definitely gonna go long. Let's see how's Divya doing against Alexandra Koshchenyuk. And it's -1 now. Wow. And here h3. Yeah, we saw these moves, e6 and queen b3, which is another bad move. So the queen has been moved once from here and twice. In opening we say we don't move our pieces more than once. Like firstly we say we don't get the major pieces out in the opening. But now it has been out and it has moved twice. And now Divya is thinking what to do. Main idea of queen b3. What's the main idea of queen b3? Yeah, b6. I was also thinking b6. It's the second best move suggested by our engine, and it's almost equal to the first best move, which is d5, striking at the center immediately. But what if this happens? We are okay to give up a pawn. Okay, that's interesting. Actually, we are okay to give up 2 pawns. No, we are not okay to give up 2 pawns because now white will lose a piece. This, then the queen hangs, hence this bishop will be dead. So no, 1 pawn for now. What's the idea? I mean, why to go in those things, man? Simply play b6, get out our bishop. It's also not that bad. So looks like Divya's gonna pocket this, or I think it's too early to say. It's only 10 moves and many things can go like in any direction from here. So let's not call this one. Still I want to know like why a pawn has been given. Yeah, let's say white wants to castle, so the knight is hanging. Yeah, b6, yeah, Divya has played R move. She doesn't want to go into the d5 variation. Simple b6, protecting the pawn on b6, making way for bishop to get out on b7. Yeah, a simple play. And now white will castle most probably. And bishop to b7, c3. I'm so sorry if the horn of the bike is bothering you. I don't know if that sound reached you. b6. Let's say now white castles. Yeah, bishop b7. Simple. How about f3? Looks as a very awkward. Why b3? What is the problem in b3? Oh, come on. That bishop is gonna fall with if d3 is played, this bishop will die. Here, a6, e4, b5 is dead, piece down. Of course, Kostyanyuk is not gonna play such a reckless move. c3. Yeah, what if we simply take this pawn? Knight takes d4. Queen g5. Okay, so king side attack can come in this game. I am sure there are going to be fireworks in this game. That's why I love e4 positions, man. They are tactical, they are interesting. Things happen in the positions. In d4 positions also things happen, but I don't understand those things. So I love e4. Now Kostyanyuk has thought for 2.5 minutes so far. d3 is also a nice move, okay, like protecting the pawn on e4. And like right now d5 isn't coming. Now maybe, yeah, the queen has to move, otherwise the bishop will die. The queen has already moved 2 times and this will be the 3rd time the queen will move. Okay, so here Divya is pushing. Let's see the other boards. How Vaishali's position is. Still equal. Not much has happened. After King G2, Knight C6 was played. Knight to C2. Why Knight C2 was played? A5. Okay, but black did not play A5. Black played Rook AC8. I think this move has been played like this is some sort of a weakness. So white is trying to put some pressure on that b4 pawn and immobilizing that knight. This knight has to stay here to. Why my arrows are going like this? To have some protection there. And I don't think there is any other purpose for that. The engine says knight e4 was the best move. Even I think even I would have gone for knight e4, natural looking move. But we are just, that's the thing. That's our theme. Noob chess. Rook AC8. Now Vaishali is thinking. For how long? For around 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes she's thinking. And engine suggests two moves, e4 and rook ac1. And let's see if I was white here. What would have I played? I mean, e4 looks very tempting to me. Because just grabbing everything on the center, total control of the center. And what would black play? I don't know after that what, but yeah, now a5 has to be played, because now let's see, a random move is played, then d5 is coming, which is a very bad move. I thought I will kick away this knight on c6 and take this pawn on b4, but apparently, okay, this is what happens when you advance pawns. You lose a square. So when we advance a pawn like d5, we give holes. See, on e5. Now knight has a kind of an outpost here. Of course, I know it's not an outpost technically, because we can capture that square again, but it kind of creates a hole. So unnecessary pawn pushes should be avoided. So see, in these positions, nothing bang bang happens. Nothing immediately happens. Simple maneuver move, a very odd move like h6, to be honest, is the best move. Wow, it's the best move of engine. I just played it randomly. I mean, if a position has h6 as the best move, I am not gonna stay there. We'll come back here. Humpy's position. I mean, both the games had same opening. And after, okay, so Carissa took, we last saw it till here. So Carissa took on d5 with her pawn, and then white developed her bishop, which is quite a natural move. There's nothing special about it. This was the only piece that has not developed yet, and black plays b6. Again, natural. Trying to get her bishop out, solidifying on c5. And now white is thinking. Again, in this position as well, like nothing explosive is happening immediately. White has to maneuver slowly, like the engine suggests. Rook to c1, grabbing the semi-open file, which may turn into open file pretty soon. Like, see, rook e1 is also being recommended, and let's say rook a c1. After that, let's say bishop b7, a4. Why a4? Bishop b5, a4. I mean, I would never think of moves like that. a4. Grabbing the b5 square. Rook c8. You see, this game is going to go slow. Let's see the Sinquefield Cup, how Pragg is doing. The last we checked, the engine was not very happy with Pragg's position, and okay, things have become better. So we saw it till here, and Kaimer had to take the pawn on a4, which he didn't for some reason. As I said, it's very simple for engine to say, but when you're playing on the board, the decision is tough. And Vincent went bishop to e3, which is not a very good move, and Pragg played the second best move, knight to c7 here. But my point being is the pawn is still falling. What's the okay, the problem is b5 is coming. So b5, wasn't b5 coming even then? c6 was falling. Oh, come on. This was... Knight c7 changes so much. Do I see, like, in this position, this wasn't working because after queen c6 the rook is being threatened. But now, with the knight on c7, the rook is protected. So in the same line, after white takes on c6, okay, still rook a6 is being recommended, but can't we simply take it? Okay, turns out we cannot. Rook a6, and the b5 pawn is also protected now. Things change. Kaimer has played h4, which is a good move here. Maybe trying to go on a kingside attack. I don't know. Been only 13 moves. Now what black has to play? Black has to go f6. Okay, maybe let's say black plays some random move, a7. What's, yeah, g5. So h4 has been played to get white's pieces on g5, maybe knight, maybe bishop, because now this pawn supports the square. So the black's best response right now is to play h6 and defend against the ideas of moves like knight to g5, bishop to g5. Knight to g5 threatens mate here. So h6 is the best move. And the other moves are bishop b7, which is not so good. So, and Pragg will most probably play h6. I mean, this is a simple move, I believe, at least for us, seeing it from here. And if not h6, then what? Let's say after h6 white's plan, what's going to be white's plan? This game is also going to be slow. This is also going to be a game with lots of maneuvers. This is an English opening. This is also not a king's pawn opening, so you have to be patient for things to happen. Now, two moves are being suggested for white: rook fd1 and rook fc1. Why not rook ac1? And okay, maybe this rook belongs here. The a rook belongs on the a file only. So rook fd1, bishop will go here. Now rook dc1. Moving the rook twice, then shouldn't we go here directly? Okay, then black will play like this, and then will come bishop to a6. Queen d2, giving up a pawn. Okay, this would be an epic line if we get into this. All the sacrifices and attack on the king side. Things are happening in this game. I mean, can happen, of course. They are not happening. We are right now at a very peaceful position. But yeah, things could happen. And Pragg is thinking like since 6 minutes. Like here is the time, guys. Here is the time. I stream from mobile, so I don't have a mouse pointer, so I use the pieces to point to, guys. h6 is the most probable game. Okay, till Pragg is thinking. Actually, we missed yesterday's game of Pragg, which I heard went till move number 95, and yes, it's 95, and our Pragg defeated beautifully the World Championship challenger Javakir Sindarov. So let's check that game, how the game went, how Pragg scored a perfect victory against Sindarov. d4. Pragg was white in this game, and the game went Queen's Gambit declined. Charusek variation. I think we saw the opening phase of the game. Queen h3. e4, it's all theory. h5, bishop h7. Yeah, we had seen these things. Yeah. And it was equal. The game was equal. And it's completely a new position now. After move number 15. And Pragg castled, which I was kind of surprised. a5, king b1, rook e8, knight g3. Okay, a dubious move f6, bishop f4, it was taken. Yes, we saw these moves. Queen c7, putting pressure on f4, knight f5, giving up the f4 pawn because cannot do anything but moving the knight ahead. Rook e6, takes, queen to d2. Okay, so trading queens with the accord is not well according to the engine. Knight to f8, the knight retreats back, and now white moves ahead with his rook. Rook gets back. Okay, this is not a very good move. Of course, it's a retreating move. When you retreat your pieces, it's never good. After that, rook b3, rook a4, knight c5. Okay, it's +1 for Pragg already. Materially, it's equal, but the pieces of white are much better placed. See, this rook is tied to this pawn. Rook e3. Oh, come on. It's 2 point. It says it's 2.1. Oh, there was a glitch. Something wrong is happening with our engine. d6. a7. Apparently king c2 would have been a superior move here, but Pragg played rook e1, king f8, e4. White gave away the pawn on f4. What? Okay, there was pressure on e8. That's why black retreated with this rook. It's dead equal. How did Pragg manage to convert this? e7, king g6. How the hell white won this? I mean, see, the time is also 4 minutes and 17 minutes. Okay, but they will get extra time now after this move. Okay, the king is a kind of blocked. I mean cornered here. Black has to be a bit careful. Okay, c6 has been taken. I mean, black would take the g4. No, they cannot take the g4 pawn because otherwise the rook will be forked. d6, rook d5, now g4 pawn. Okay, it's a very interesting position. Black has two kingside passers, white has a central passer, and one passed pawn will get from here as well. Knight h6, rook to b4, knight to d4. It's 2 versus 1, but the engine says it's equal. It's 0.0, but maybe practically white is better. e2, king d4. Both the players are playing a perfect game. We cannot take the pawn on f6 because there's a fork, so no. Knight e5. I mean, Dead equal. I mean, when did Sindarov make a mistake? When if we see the time situation, Pragg has less time. So Pragg has more chances of making a mistake. Where did the position change? Still equal. If we are at move number 67, knight b4. Okay, here is the first inaccuracy from Javakir Sindarov. He had to go rook h1 check. So how is this an inaccuracy? We'll see. Rook c6 check, king e5, knight d3, king d4, d6, king c4, knight. Okay, what's the best f3? Okay, white has kind of got an initiative here and it's threatened. Okay, it's again 0.0. Rook g3. We are at move number 81. Okay, here I mean white is pushing ahead with his pawn, so is black. So it's not very clear. Knight f3. And black blundered with the knight e3. And how is this a blunder? We are gonna see, because it's completely changed the evaluation. Like you will see, it's 0.03 and now it's suddenly 3.3. So like knight d4, which apparently is not the best move. No, it's the best move. Knight d4, king d5, knight e2. Okay. Okay. It gives away the pawn. The king has been cut out now. King is out of the range. See, the king is on c6 here. So with these moves, like let's say if king goes back to c6, then it's just finished. So now king comes towards this side and Pragg beautifully places the rook on d8. The king is totally cut now. So these pawns have clear passage. Rook f3. This is again a bad move from Sindarov. Knight c3 check, king e5, and yes, now these pawns are marching. Rook f1. Oh man, this was another. This is finished. a6, rook, knight a2. Yeah. f3, rook check. e5. Yeah. Okay. If we see how it will finish, maybe rook d7, maybe we'll simply take it. Which will lead to a draw. We'll take it with the knight. If we go there, maybe this check will come. So, and if it takes this, wow, one mistake from Javakir and Pragg played beautifully to convert this game. Okay, let's get back to today's games. Let's get back to Keimer versus Pragg. Rook f d1. Okay, Bishop e3, knight c7, h4, bishop e6, Pragg played bishop e6. Okay, when we were talking about this move, h6 did not play, Pragg did not play h6. So maybe, why didn't he go knight g5? I mean, this was your intention of playing h4, then shouldn't you have gone there? Okay, anyway, you played rook f2 d1, and we are thinking h6 is still the best move. Okay guys, I'm gonna take a little bit of break. I'll be back pretty soon. We are back after a little bit of break. Okay, let's look at the women's section, the Cairns Cup now. This was the most interesting position to me, and yes, the Divya's advantage is getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, bishop b7. Yeah, we saw up to b6 and c3 was played, which is again not the best move, so that's why black's advantage is getting stronger slowly. Bishop b7 was played, which is the second best move, and as you can see, it's the best move. Knight takes d4 and bishop takes e4. Wow, I'm loving the black position. I mean, even if the engine would have said black is not good, I would have preferred black. There's an attack gonna come towards the king. And castles, white has to castle. I mean, like g2 pawn is also hanging. We cannot Let it be like this. Black is thinking. Black's best move is bishop takes d4, which is not good actually. I mean, so impractical move. Like giving up this bishop for a knight. It's quite courageous. Maybe to get hold of the f5 square. This move is being suggested. Bishop b7 back. Maybe d3. Yeah, I was thinking of the move e5, but somehow I thought this move is a bit weakening. Maybe some pressure on f7 pawn. f5 is not possible now. That's why I thought this move should not be played. But now the engine says, okay, let's say nf3. Can we go d5? Yes. Oh man, it's just too strong. It's too strong. So we forgot, this is always the problem with the move d3. The bishop is being trapped. It's getting trapped. That's why d3 has not been played yet. So let's say bishop to b7. Okay, getting rook into the open file. And maybe planning bishop f1 d3. I don't know. Yeah, I love this move. Queen g4. Yeah, now should go bishop f1. And okay, at some point or other we have to take the knight on d4. Then only we can get our knight on f5. And this knight can become a good defensive piece as well. Can't we go e5 now? Okay man, this is a very bad move. This gives away all the advantage. Why does this give away all the advantage? I don't know, but it does. If the engine says so, let's say so. So we have to take on d4. I mean, it's a tough decision, and practically, because you never want to give away your fianchetto bishop. So taking on d4 is going to be a tough decision for Divya. Let's see if she dares to do this. And you know, her opponent is Kostyanyuk, who is a very, very strong grandmaster. You can see this is from Switzerland. Okay, let's see the game of Vaishali. Okay, some things are happening. I thought this is going to be a slow one, a slow burn game. Yeah, e4 was played, which we were talking about. a5 was also played, and a3. Okay, a break has come. a3, which is not like that much. b takes a3 and knight takes a3. Oh, come on. Okay, this is also not a good move. Yeah, I mean, making more pawn islands, but opening the b file. Maybe attacking on b6, which is a backward pawn. This one is a backward pawn. So maybe Vaishali is looking to get her rooks here or maybe here and put pressure on this, down this file on this pawn. This can be a possibility. That's why she has taken with the pawn. And I don't know, was a3 necessary? I always thought, yeah, but after a5, this pawn was no longer a weak pawn. Hence, maybe it was better to get rid of that. And now, black is thinking. Now the position has almost equalized. Black has managed to equalize the position now. But I would feel much more comfortable playing white with this. See, I love space. And white has a lot of space. Like this. I mean, white's pieces are more advanced. Yeah, knight is... Maybe black's knights are better, but maybe our knights can also... Maybe knight e3. Okay, it's black's move currently, so let's say black plays a random move h6. Like, is this too bad of a move? It's not a very good of a move actually. And knight to d7, knight to e3. Knight e3 is definitely in the air. So the engine says if knight d7, then knight e3 we have to come. Best move for black here is e5, striking directly in the center, but I don't like that move because d5 is coming and I have to go even more back. Okay, this is interesting. Now b7 and c5 is coming. See, so it's always a trade-off. Whenever you advance the pawn, like okay, this has given white a lot of space in the center, but a hole has been created on c5 as well. This is an outpost for this black knight. This is a trade-off that white will do if such a position arises, if black plays e5, because I'm sure white's not gonna take this. I mean, the knight will come, there will be pressure on c4 pawn and the c4 pawn will fall. And white cannot leave it like that, so d5 is the only logical move here. So that will happen. Let's check on Humpy, who is playing Carissa Yip. And this is the game which we are able to understand the least so far. b6, knight e5, immediately going towards the center. What if black takes this knight? This is not good for white. Okay, the knight will have to retreat. Why? This will trap the knight. This will trap the knight because the pawn is protected from the bishop. So knight definitely has to go back. So taking is not good. Taking is not a good option here. And hence black played bishop to b7 and white played the best move, bishop b5. I mean, there's a hole, you go into it. This seems the only logical explanation for that move, and maybe we are threatening knight to c6. That's why the knight should be taken right now. Bishop to d6 and queen f5 is being suggested. Is this a very bad move? Okay, this is a very bad move. See, the thing is, after this the knight has no good retreat. Like if this comes, then the pawn will fall. There's 1, 2, 3, and white has only 2 protectors, so this pawn will fall. So knight c6 is a bad move. Maybe f4 is... How is this of a move? It's not that bad, guys. They have played a good... Queen f5. Humpy finds the best move there. Supporting this square more. And queen has become much more active at the f5 square than the c2 square, and on d7 is also pressure is high. 1 2 3, so black has to act. Yeah, bishop c8 or knight b8 has to be played, because you cannot take on e5, you will lose a piece. So knight b8 seems the most logical option. I mean, I would have opted for bishop to c8 rather than knight to c8. See, I am loving this white's position here in these games as well. I think it's going to be all Indian victories tonight. Sorry about that. Do you know a cat matter, guys? Yes, he says sorry about that. So queen to f5 has white's last move, and black is thinking. If you see the time situation, it's 38 minutes, so she has to make like it's the move number 15, 25 moves in 38 minutes. It's not that bad actually. So let's say bishop to c8, then what would white do? White has to, I mean, I'm not gonna go in this diagonal again. Okay, then we can go d3. I would play here. I want my queen to be on f3, but the best move is apparently queen to d3. Interesting. Interesting, quite interesting. Queen to f5. And black is thinking. So it looks like, even though it is looking scary for black, nothing concrete is gonna happen. Let's get back to Divya's game. I mean, this game was, yeah, she took on f4. She took on d4, guys, which I thought was going to be a tough decision. She took it, got a knight on f5, and now Kostyuk is thinking. Kostyuk is thinking. I mean, d4 pawn is being hit. Now can we play d3? Or still it's a bad? Yeah, it's still a bad, because knight d4 is hitting the queen as well. So black won't save his bishop. Rather than black will take on d4 and threaten white's queen. So like, why queen d1 is being suggested? Like, what if you play queen to c3, defending the pawn on d4? Rook c8. What? We can sacrifice it. d5. Oh, we are getting back the piece. And if we have to go back, then there is no point playing queen c3. So queen c3 is a very bad move. And now I understand why queen d1 is important. Like, now if black goes things like that, maybe we can come queen to g4, or maybe g4 is an possibility, because with h5 there's much more control on g4 square. Why it's such a bad move? So, okay, rook e1 is also a possibility, but even then, the knight may take on d4. Okay, now this is different, because now after queen c3, both the pieces will be threatened. Let's see how Praggnanandhaa is doing. Yeah. Okay, it's +1 for white. I don't know. After h4, bishop a6, rook f d1 we saw. ab3, and b5 is not such a good move apparently. Maybe c takes d. C takes d5, b4. What's happening with c takes d5? Why is this so bad? Let's say we take back the pawn. White takes on d5. So the correct move for black is to play b4 here. Pragg is struggling in this game. Pragg is struggling a little bit. At least if we listen to the engine, because he has not played the best moves. The position is complicated. This we have to also take into consideration. Pragg is thinking the best move is b4, threatening the queen and the knight as well. Queen c2, knight takes c5. We can't take this. Okay, sorry, knight takes d5. Yeah, knight g5 is coming. Take directly. What's the idea? Why knight a2 has been played, guys? Okay. It's a protection against b4. And b4 is still being played. Then queen d2, queen to b8. Yeah, protecting this pawn on b4. Now bishop g5. So, for some reason, it's +1 for white. It's mostly due to the space advantage, I would say, because there's no other brick. Plus, I'm able to see for white. So this was a bad move. C takes d5, and Pragg is thinking. Pragg has 35 minutes left while Keimer has 47 minutes. Anything could happen here. B4, yeah. Pragg finds the best move, and I think Keimer will blitz out his move, queen to c2. Okay, there's another interesting move here. Rook takes a6, sacrificing the exchange. Knight takes c6 and going knight to e4. And I think white is eyeing kingside attack, and still you can see even after giving up an exchange, white is like it's +1. So white's position must be very well. So I think h6 had to be played by black at some point, and hence black is a little bit mess up here. Let's check on Divya's game in the Cans Cup, because that game was starting to fire up. Rook e1, rook e1. The best move Kostyuk has played. And can we sacrifice this guy? Can we play like this? Okay, it's bad. It's not working right now. So, and of course, we won't play this recklessly. So, bishop to b7 is gonna. This is a bad move. Is this a bad move? It's a bad move. So guys, basically I'm just checking what's the black's plan exactly. That's why I was making random moves from white. So after this, from here, the black's plan is quite simple. Bring the queen here, take out the rooks, and attack on the king. So this is going to be sharp game from here onwards. Bishop will be called back. We saw knight d4 wasn't working because of queen to c3. Maybe is she thinking bishop into g2? Has it crossed her mind? I mean, she must take one look at her at that move. Are we even thinking on these? No. Maybe she is thinking like immediately queen h4. But yeah, g3 is coming. g3, queen h3. Okay, bishop f1. Let's say queen f6. Now d5. No, bishop d5. This is not good for black. Black will lose a lot of pawns. Bishop b7 seems the most logical move right now. Okay, let's check on Humpy and Vaishali's game. This game has equalized. This is all the lines we looked at. Humpy's game was also a little bit interesting after queen f5, and Karitsayev has decided to go bishop a6. The point being is, if we take here, yeah, there's a threat on f1 as well. We are not gonna take directly. First take on e5, de5. Queen takes. Maybe there's no point of the move bishop a6. I mean, in the context I was looking, bishop e6 has not been played because of that. It's just challenging the bishop. Okay, now knight takes d7 cannot happen. Yeah, if knight takes d7, we are going to take bishop takes b5. Right. Before that, if some random move had been played, then knight takes d7 would have happened. Okay, gotcha. Humpy's thinking this game is also heating up, can I say? No. Let's look at some other players' games. Okay. The If you see the bars on the other boards, actually every bar is balanced, and if the position, position which is looking very interesting to my naked eye is none, to be precise, none. And here maybe, although the engine is saying it's Aronian versus it's Forest versus Aronian, why does a pawn up? See, sorry, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4, but maybe black has a good activity in return of that. That's why it's showing equal. Otherwise, Indians love materials. Bishop e3. This was threatened. I would love to be white in this position, because I mean white is a pawn up. If we look at the all-American clash of Fabi and Wesley, so maybe black has some chances with these fragmented pawn. Okay, here I think black has chances, but white is also looking to ruin black's pawn structure here. F6, there. Sorry. F6. Yeah. But Fabi opts for bishop to d2, which is okay, which is not a good move. This has given black some advantage. White is a pair bishop as well actually, but apparently knight b3 would get rid of the pair bishop. Even pawn on c4 is falling. Anish Giri is doing how? So black will lose a pawn in this position, but it's an opposite colored bishop game. All the rooks are on the board, but this is going to be a draw. Okay. Things are happening between Sindaro and MVL. Oh, come on. How did we reach this position? Is it QGA? White gives up the pawn on c4. Isn't d5 a good move? Not so good. And striking at the center. Wow. I'm loving this opening, man. Should I try it with this black? Such an aggressive opening. Black has advanced. Look at the pawns on of black. C4, B3. That's quite amazing. Apparently, white was better. This knight e2 move and black replied perfectly. Knight b3, f5. Again, black played the best move. And after e f6, knight 7 f6. This game is going to be an interesting one. Let's go to the Cans Cup. Dude, is black still thinking? It's been 16 minutes. I'm sure she's looking into bishop g2 knights. See, black has chances after bishop g2. White has to be really accurate. Otherwise, black is getting into a good position. Second f1. This is that. What else is the move? What else black might be thinking here? Okay, black has went for bishop b7 after long 16 minutes think. I hope she doesn't get into time pressure, like she has to make 25 moves in 25 minutes. d5, this is the best move, it's the best move. Now queen h4 is the best move, and after such a long thing, black should blitz out her moves, but Divya is thinking once again. Black's thinking once again. I mean, it's kind of weird. I see, generally, when players go for a long thing, generally, at least 2-3 moves the blitz out. But the West thinking once again. So let's go queen to g4, h4. d3, I mean, it's a logical move. I mean, what else? This doesn't make sense. This will just totally blow up the position of white. d3, and yes, e into d5 is definitely gonna come. If we take this, do we have knight to d4? Yeah. Queen c4 and rook ac, the bishop will fall. You seem to give up the queen. Two bishops for 2 pieces. Yeah, of course. And maybe d4 now. This totally blows up the advantage. So, even though it looks very dangerous, knights going, bishop here, and queen on the king side, there's nothing happening, at least according to the engine. So after d4 is not the correct move. So black is a pawn up in this situation. So black has to maybe change this position, change the pieces and play normally. I mean, play till the end game. Okay, Divya has made a move which is rook to c8. Not the most accurate, but still, it's an okay move. Because no harm has happened. Maybe she's looking to play knight to d4. Let's say h4, a random move like that. Okay, it is not a random move. Let's say king h1. Okay, let's say a3, come on, a3. Then knight d4 is coming here. This is what I was trying to show. Let's say queen to c3. And now queen to h4. Okay, engine is loving queen to h4. It wants to play queen to h4 anytime soon. This game, I think the Indian flag is gonna win. Best move is d3. I think the queen h4's move's idea is to have control of the d4 square. That's why they're usually suggesting queen to h4 like continuously, so that the knight jumps on the d4 square and the queen, I'm sorry, and the queen protects it. Rook c8 is not so good move, not a very good move. If white plays accurately, maybe things will equalize. This is quite an interesting game. Both the black knights are looking at b3 square. So even though the engine suggests that it's quite equal, but I would prefer black because I think the black's nights are much more active. Here, so can't say guys. Wesley is pushing against Fabi, guys. We saw, yeah, bishop d2. White played bishop d2 here when we were last here. Knight b3. Black played it, the best move. And okay, white had to take on e6. Apparently, this is a good move. Like, why? Like this. Okay, just let it be. Knight takes d2, rook takes d2, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook d7, rook a4. So black is up a pawn here, and hence in a very good position. White has played d3, which we discussed. And black has to go queen f6 or queen h4. Basically, the queen has to control the d4 square. Rook c5. Apparently, it's not the best, but still manages to get hold of the advantage Black has. So, guys, can't we get some advantage of the weakness of these squares? Maybe like here and then here. I think white does not have that much of time to play like that. Is this very bad? This is a very, very bad one, actually. The best move is to retreat with the queen. Any backward moves are tough to find. I think we will stick to this game from now onwards because this is the game. I'm loving it. I think Black will win this game in the end game. Okay guys, the time situation is getting tricky now for Divya because only 30 minutes are left and still more than 20 moves to make before getting an extra 30 minutes. And but she has a nice advantage in this position. Like as I was saying, like Kostyanuk had to play queen to d1. This was the best move apparently, but see, backward moves are always tough to make for a chess player. It's like saying that what I played earlier is not right. Was not right. So queen to a4, and if you guys see, this queen has moved already once, twice, and thrice. Hence, this is creating problems for black. And the best move for black is apparently a5, saving the pawn on a7. And even e takes d5 is fine. Okay, it's not fine actually. It's not fine actually. Bishop takes d5 is the move. So I don't think black is gonna give the that bishop, because the bishop is looking towards the king, the queen is coming. So I don't think black is gonna give up that bishop this easily. a5 seems logical. a5 can be found. Like, this is not a very tough move. a5 protecting the pawn on a7. It's not a very it's not a very tough move. And after, let's say, she goes e takes d5. Okay, I think the time pressure is getting. It's not the best. It's not the best. But b4 has to be played by white. If white simply retreats her bishop, then black is too strong in this position. It's -2. Like, black is almost winning. Black has almost a winning advantage. b4 has to be found by white. b4, rook to c8, and now bishop b3. So now this bishop has place, and I don't know what's the difference. d4, queen takes a7, bishop c6, bishop f4. I still don't understand if had this pawn on been b2 and on right now it's on b4. What's the difference? But b4 has to be found here. I mean, let's see, bishop b3, d4. Now same things, bishop takes queen c7. Okay, so the difference is now the rook stays on c5. So it doesn't matter if the pawn was on b2 or b4. In this variation, the rook stays centralized on c5. So b4 is important to kick away the rook from the square. And yes, so b4, and I think Kostyanuk will find this move, and because this is kind of a only move in this position. Even then black is better, but black will be less better if white plays b4 here. And yep, there is no any other options. b4, rook c8, bishop b3, and then play d4. Just protect that pawn. Bishop development. Okay, first queen to a7, bishop c6. Now bishop f4. And isn't the queen? No, okay, no. c7 square. See, white's queen is having troubles. That's why white has an advantage. Queen to a3, then nh4 or queen h4. Let's say nh4. Okay, black will have to give up an exchange. Let's say f3. Oh man, this will be very strong. So white has to play very accurately here from now on. I think Divya is gonna get home in this match. Let's check other boards. She played bishop b3, which is a very bad move according to the engine. Divya has to find it's minus 2.7. It's almost like black is a piece up in this position. It's like a winning advantage. But d4 has to be found. Basically now the queen is sideways. If now went into a7, then queen c7 is coming, and this queen is almost trapped. White's queen is almost trapped. Maybe let's say queen to a4, and now wow, now this sacrifice is gonna work. Knight h4, king f1. This game is heating up, guys. This game is heating up. Divya has to find the d4 here. That's the best move in this position. That's kind of only move in this position that wins her the game. So I hope she finds d5. Sorry, d4. 10 minutes remaining for her. I mean, she is in a bit of a time pressure, that's for sure. Even Kostanuk has 20 minutes only. Come on. d4, d4. d4. Looks like she played it. She has found it, guys. She has found the best move in the position. d4 has been found. Now queen c7 will be played, or queen a8. Okay. See, this queen is totally cut off from the king side of the board, and the king is kind of alone there, and black is going to attack it badly. Very badly. Bishop d1 is another weird move. I don't think white will ever play this move. But black's moves also aren't that simple. When the shows minus 2.5, it's queen a8. Engine is suggesting. I mean, this is just over. So let's say b4 now. I mean, if she didn't play b4 at that point of time, I don't think she would play b4 now. g4. Man, bishop h1. Mating threat. So white has to give up an exchange any times. And what are the other moves black has after bishop to d1? Rook e8 can also be played. It seems like almost anything is winning for black. Like queen h4. Okay, this is bad. This is bad. This should not be played. Maybe queen b8. Even this is okay. That's a queen c7. This is okay-ish. And white, what else white can do? Bishop d1, not bishop to d1. Bishop f4 is a very very natural move and it's not that bad actually. So after that, black has to play a5. But now black's moves are simpler. Black can play anything. This d4 has worked amazingly. I think when Koshenov played queen b3 on move number 10, this started her problems, and Divya played very accurately since then. She did not give any chances to her opponent and just paralyzed that queen there, kind of. Like white had a chance or a two to bring back her queen into the game, but queen a7 is not. I think everything is good for black. Queen takes a7. Man, this is just finished. This is showing -4. Are we gonna see this result in this game? Looks like Divya is gonna crush it. Queen c7 has to be found, and it's not a very tough move. The idea being you play queen c7, you threaten rook a8 and trapping the queen. It's a very very natural move to play for black. I think Divya is definitely going to go for it. Oh man, it will be a very big victory for her if she manages to convert this. And I mean, she should convert this. If not this, then what? If not this, then what, guys? Queen to c7. Let's say bishop d2 it's suggesting. Oh shit, she missed it. She missed it, guys. She has gone for bishop to c6. It was a killer move, queen to c7. Maybe, I don't know, was she afraid of this? But like bishop d2, rook a8, queen takes, yeah. And even this is very very advantageous for her. I don't know why she didn't go for that move. It was quite weird. Like this, queen c6, f3, rook 8, bishop a4, b5. And it's -5. It's just game finished. I think time pressure is the key, guys. Because I don't think it was a very tough move to play. Okay, but still black is better. Still black is better. But maybe much simpler for white to play. Let's check other games now. This game is gonna take time. Wow. Vaishali has put some pressure on black's king, but still the engine says it's 0-0. Wow. Interesting. According to the engine, everything is protected in black's camp. Nothing's happening. Okay, so if nothing's happening, let's see Humpy's game. It's still equal. How our Pragg is doing. Pragg is also equal. But Wesley so is crushing Fabi. Wesley is gonna win against Fabiano Caruana. It's winning advantage, guys. -4 is like a winning advantage. We'll stick to this game. We will stick to this game. Yeah, white played bishop to f4. A natural move. Developing her bishop. Now see knight h4. Seems like a natural move, but I don't know if they're gonna play this with 8 minutes on the clock. An advancing move like that can be played. Maybe this is what she wanted to do. That's why she did not go for the queen c7 ideas. So let us see what happens. NH4, she finds the best move. She has found the best move here. And white has to give a pawn exchange. White has to give a pawn exchange. No options. Okay, there's one option. Queen to c7. Knight takes g2. Takes. Yes. Bishop c7, then maybe rook c8, yeah. Bishop takes b6, maybe rook 2. Even that is okay. White is losing an exchange at least in this game. Excellent move from Divya here. In time pressure, she is playing amazingly well. And I think she's gonna get this. She is gonna get this game. Kostyanook is thinking, and now they have to play fast because it's only move number 21. 13 minutes and 8 minutes left. I think we are gonna see the result before the extra time control. And we will end the stream after this game. Because in all likelihood, this is going to be the first game to end. Okay, we are not going to take on e4 immediately. This is not that good for black. Apparently we have to take on g2 with the knight, king g2 and then queen f6. This is a weird continuation of the moves. Let's say bishop g3. Okay, queen b6 is just over. Oh man, this is not easy to find. If White plays rook to e4. Knight into g2. Oh man. Bishop into e4 is not even the second best move here. In 8 minutes, is it easy to understand this much? I doubt it actually. I seriously doubt it. Koshchinook has lost both the games so far. She lost to Leslie, she lost to Carissa Yip, and even today looks like she's going to lose. Her performance is 1644. Are you serious? Just a moment. Dude, even though the engine says it's equal, is black pushing here? These two pawns are looking a little bit dangerous. But black's king is kind of weak. So maybe that's why equality. Already around 8 minutes Koshchinook has taken for this move, and I think it's about right that she's taking time to play. It was kind of a crucial moment of the game. She is not in a good form. She is currently in a bad form. Queen c7, okay, this is the best move, but now knight takes g2 has to be found. which I think black will find it. It's -4 after knight takes g2. And I think this is much easier than playing knight at that point. Queen takes c, I mean queen to c7. So this is a much better move, I believe. Yes, guys. Divya has found the best move in the position. Knight takes g2, and she is gonna win this one. She's definitely gonna win this one. Yeah, queen takes queen, and she will take rook takes queen. Yes. And now white has to give up an exchange because we saw the line bishop to c7, rook to c8, bishop b6, and after that rook to g5. Yes, this is winning. This is winning for black. I'm so sorry, guys, about that. This is winning for black. Just thinking, how about bishop d6? We didn't see. I think again rook to g5. Or maybe knight to e1 is also working. Is this a bad move? Okay, this is a bad move. Bishop d6, knight e1, bishop to c5. Okay, knight f3, check, king g2. And yeah, it's just total mayhem. White is a pawn down. White will be an exchange down with no compensation at all. So this is just over. We look at the other game. All the games are dead equal, and one of the games has ended as well. The game between Bibisara and Alice. It has ended in a draw. Vaishali is in a bit of a time pressure. Humpy, they're playing an equal position. This is the game. This is the game right now to watch. And this will be second win for Divya if she wins this. Yesterday she lost to Alice Lee. Just 4 minutes left for caution, Nook, and 16-17 moves are to be made. It's not a good position to be. The position the white is in. It's been 5 minutes since Koshnook is thinking. Bishop to c7, yes, she played, and I think rook c8 will be played in no time here. Actually, even knight to takes e1 is also not that bad, so maybe we may think of that move as well. Let's see what gets played. Rook to c8, nice, best move. Now bishop to b6. Now rook to g5. I think black will find rook to g5. Rook to b5 is also a nice move actually. Rook to b5. Bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes. Black is an exchange up. White has a pair bishop and a pawn. Maybe not a pawn, like rook g5, she finds it. Oh man, she is in top form. Just for example, if white tries to save the exchange, what will happen? e3, king h2, rook g2, king h1. Oh man, it's complete mayhem. I mean, oh man. The whole house will be robbed if white tries to save the exchange. So king f1 or rook to e4 has to be played. This white plays king f1. See, even now her random move is not that bad. So h6. Okay, these moves are. I'm sure black is going to take the rook on e1, followed by bishop to g to check, and then taking the pawn on h3, being an exchange up. Maybe these two pawns, Koshnook will try to use these two pawns to generate some counterplay. But is that going to be enough? Vaishali is time is in seconds, but fortunately, like, she does not have to find some, like, a very, how do I say, very complicated moves, thankfully. Divya is thinking what she must be thinking. She must be thinking between knight takes even and rook h5 maybe. Yeah, she takes on e1, white takes back with the rook, and bishop g2 is going to be played. I don't think so there's any other option, any other move that black has. See, even now when I see it a little carefully, yes, black is an exchange up. Black has a huge advantage, but these two pawns may create some trouble. Okay, so one of the rooks has to be exchanged. Okay. Rook e5 check has been given. Yes, and one of the rooks are off the board. Bishop h3. Black is an exchanger. Black is a pawn up. Okay, maybe the pawn on d4 is going to fall. a4, yes. White is now gonna try to push her past pawns of the queen side. Now black has to be a bit careful. Of course h5 is coming, but if black is careless, things can go wrong. Like if I was playing rook b8, which is not a good move, which is already half the advantage, a5. So Divya has to play very carefully here. See, once black would play bishop g2, this would cover the a8 square. So I think even these pawns are not that much threatening as they're looking. And bishop g2 has been played. Divya is playing so well. She's finding the best moves continuously, like I think since knight h4, the moment she played knight h4, she's finding the best moves. Excellent gameplay from her. Bishop to d1. Yeah, now h5. Yeah, black's gonna push her own pawns. Just I think now it's 2.5 minutes are enough. And Vaishali has drew with Stavrula. Humpy is playing. I mean, as I said, the game is interesting. What's black's queen is doing and how did it reach there? Interesting, we'll go there, but I think this game is towards its end. It's -5. It's almost finished. Maybe white is looking to play f3. Yeah, this is what I said. Maybe bishop d5. Not so good, not so good. The best move is still h5. Oh man, only 1 minute is left for black. Rook to e8 check is it's also a good move. King to d2, h5. Yeah, now Divya is blitzing outer moves. Now bishop c7. Yeah, bishop c7. Maybe played. b4. Quite logical, quite logical. White is trying to push her own pawns, but maybe h4, then g5, then f5, g4, g4, h3. That is gonna crush this. b8, okay. This is a nice move. Maybe bishop to c5. Yes. h4, b5. Okay, this is a slight inaccuracy maybe, but no, it's fine. Yeah, okay. Even I was thinking of this move because after f3, things could have gotten worse, and my phone is now getting discharged. So I hope Divya finishes this game quickly. Otherwise, I will have to end the stream before this match finishes. Bishop takes d4. Yeah, d6. D6 seems logical. Shutting down bishop e5 ideas. Maybe the f pawn will be pushed. Bishop goes to g1. h3. I think the time pressure is getting to her because this move complicates things a bit. It's okay, in time pressure she was finding best moves. To be honest, I don't know how would I win this one. Like, as a player, it's not that easy to convert. Okay guys, bye bye. This game is gonna go long now because we have reached the 40 move, the time control we are reaching. So signing off for today. I hope you enjoyed. We'll come back with tomorrow's round.